We turn next to nature and an underwater paradise where sharks dominate the seascape and all forms of underwater life thrive. Now, this pristine stretch of water is some 300 miles off the coast of Costa Rica. It's off limits to fishing of any kind, but danger lurks just beyond the protected zone. We follow a research team on an underwater expedition that takes them places never before seen by human eyes in a quest to uncover the secrets to Shark Island.
It's the middle of the night. Divers are on a research mission when suddenly haunting fins emerge from the shadows. Sharks by the dozens chasing down their prey, violently writhing on the ocean floor. This is the stuff of nightmares, unless you're Enrique Sala.
Unfortunately, when you have a camera, the sharks are never close enough.
Right, exactly. You want them to be close.
Yeah, you want them to be closer. And we get really, really close to the animals to be able to study their behavior. Yeah. Unfortunately, these sharks are so afraid of humans that when they get really close and you throw your bubbles, they swim away.
Sala, a National Geographic ocean explorer, spent 3 weeks swept up in a tide of, he discovered, fairly harmless sharks and surrounded by sea turtles and dolphins and strange-looking sea critters like this frogfish, as curious about Enrique as he is about this pristine stretch of water. Sala's research team is here at Costa Rica's Isla del Coco, known to some as Shark Island, to see if a bold experiment in survival is actually working. More than 30 years ago, these waters were turned into a national park declared off-limits to any kind of fishing. His team wants to find out, has the sea life returned? Are their numbers back to normal? Could this special island become the model for conservation?
We were studying the sharks, but also we were studying some deep sea mounds where nobody had been before.
In fact, what they're exploring is much more than a mound. It is an underwater mountain range, so deep the peaks top out at 500 feet below the water's surface. Enrique compares it to landing on the dark side of the moon. Here they find a barrage of sea life. But they also find something disturbing. Fishing lines. Sharks have been poached from these protected waters by fishermen eager to ship them off to Asia, where eating shark fin soup is a symbol of wealth and prestige.
The sharks are good in the water, not in soup. And removing them just for eating the fins is kind of, it doesn't make any sense.
Cruel.
Cruel, very cruel. And now it's become a sign of social status. Most of the Chinese weddings have to have shark in soup.
That heavy demand explains what the crew finds days later. More evidence of poachers, baited lines floating through protected waters, illegally hooking fish. Like this 6-foot-long yellowfin tuna. It has been hooked now for hours, struggling to survive. By the time Enrique's team frees the battered yellowfin, it's too late. Then there's this green sea turtle. Enrique's team is in a race against time.
And the turtle fought really hard, and the turtle doesn't know that you want to help her. And it still fights harder when you try to unhook her from the line, but fortunately we were able to release her.
Yeah.
And that was the fastest turtle I've seen. It went down, disappeared into the safety of the boat.
It's obvious poaching is a huge problem here. In the last 5 years alone, more than 450 sharks, 1,000 yellowfin, and turtles and dolphins by the dozens have been found hooked to fishing lines in the park.
And it was really, really hard to see these huge animals, as big as we are, swimming. They swim majestically. They are like underwater torpedoes. They are so powerful, so beautiful, and you know that they are doing something good for their environment. And suddenly, you see them hanging from a hook, fighting really hard to get released. It really breaks your heart.
Still, what Enrique and all the other researchers uncovered back at Isla del Coco is encouraging. Turns out this pristine place now has one of the highest fish densities in this part of the world. Massive amounts of sea life, large and small, have returned. Evidence of just how fast the ocean and its sea life can regenerate. And proof, Enrique says, that protection like this is needed in waters all around the globe.
We're taking all these large fish that we like to eat, and we are throwing in our garbage and sewage. And we need to reverse that situation, because what we're doing to the ocean right now is not sustainable. We need these large fish back in the ocean, because that's what makes it healthy. And there is no healthy human community without a healthy ocean.
I'm Jeremy Hubbard for Nightline.